Well, hello there, planner people. It is Kasey from Kaseyplans. Welcome back to my channel. I am filming for April 7th to April 13th. This is the long-awaited Let's Discuss a Weekend in My Life that I went to in New Milford, Connecticut. So, we're going to do this spread a little bit different. I'm going to do a talk-through video for my setup, but I'm going to pre-lay down all the boxes and the weekend because what I have to lay down for Saturday is 3 pages of things. So I need to figure that out first. So without further ado, the kit is Stars Hollow by Linder Designs, pre-foiled kit. Actually obsessed with this. My Lorelei, 1,000 Yellow Daisies. Luke, met him, can't wait to discuss. Books, Luke's, Malamars, Rory, Where You Lead, I Will Follow, Team Jess, Team Logan, Team Dean, with the Al's Pancake World, gorgeous double box scene that I am going to try to incorporate. Snacks, Red Vines, Chilton, extra full box with Yale. It's all any of us wants to find. A nice person to hang out with till we drop dead. Bottom washi, Days of the Week. Extra double box scene of the Luke's, counter bar, rounded little things, fancy labels, checklist, Monday to Sunday, little things that I absolutely decimated, quarter, third, half boxes in solids, glitter headers, little things, extra quarter boxes, quarter, third, half boxes in patterns, square boxes, fancy labels, flags, deco. Come on. So I did get the extra full boxes, just extra character add-on plain, and then I did get them pre-foiled with their quotes just because I needed all the things. I then did get some patterned boxes just in case. I got this I probably won't use and I'll just save because I did get the actual foil bundle, hole reinforcers and date numbers. Then I got 2 sheets of the floral Stars Hollow underlays in gold. And then I did pick up the foil bundle in gold. So there's the headers, overlays with Chilton, same thing that's on the full boxes, but I don't know. I needed to make sure that I had enough because I knew this was going to be a busy week. Headers here, more overlays, 2 more sheets of those underlays, bottom washi, which I won't use, days of the week, date numbers, hole reinforcers, fun headers, scripts, and then tall box, which says, if all else fails, you can marry rich. So I'm going to lay down the weekend as the base. Then I'll be back so we can discuss because this is going to be a long video. So buckle up, y'all. See you in a minute. are. Whew, that took me so much longer than I thought it was going to. Okay, so we are on, like, I'm still pre-planning because I have a lot of things to share with you. Also, this took me so much longer than I thought. 3-day extenders on Saturday. I don't know. So let me rewind us. So I'm thinking of doing the double box scene here because I do want to incorporate the gorgeous double box scene because there was a gazebo, and this town that I went to is what Gilmore Girls is based off of. So let us rewind. This is going to be a chatty video, so if that's not what you like to see, that's fine. You can skip to, and I probably won't. I will talk about the plans because we are going to go into like the actual weekend eventually, and then where all the stickers are from, but I wanted to share this just as I'm doing it. I have no idea. I'm rambling. This is rambling. So let's rewind, not fast forward, to December. Andrew sees a TikTok essentially promoting this event. Like, have you ever wanted to live the life of a Gilmore Girl? Come to Connecticut from the company Decade Dayz. Now, I want to preface this by saying, hold on, the glitter headers, like, for some reason, I cannot put the glitter headers down in a way where they work. Okay. Now, let me preface this to you by saying, this is not the first time I have been burned by a Decade Dayz event. Maybe 2 years ago, my sister-in-law, her sister, and then, the husbands, got tickets for a Decade Dayz event at, I think it was Mohegan Sun, which is a casino in Connecticut. That's maybe an hour from me-ish. Definitely drivable. I have not been to Mohegan before, so, figured, that will be a lot of fun. If Andrew doesn't want to go to the event, he can just go to the casino. We'll meet up afterward. No harm, no foul. So that event was 90s Con. Now, the event still went on. I want you to know that. But there was this, okay, come on, stay. There was this special event that Decade Dayz announced as part of 90s Con, where it was this meet and greet with Nick Carter and AJ McLean of the Backstreet Boys. Very limited. You got to talk to them. I don't know exactly how many tickets for that were available, but I do know that it was very limited. Maybe 30, maybe. It might have even been less, but I want to say maybe 20 to 30. So, my sister-in-law, we're all on the website like, hey, if you check out, try to get 3 for the 3 of us to go. We do manage to get tickets. So we're all going. So excited. Can't wait. About a week later, Decade Dayz, Nick Carter and AJ allegedly cancel. So we're in an uproar. I want a refund. Decade Dayz did eventually give us a refund, obviously, because you're not going to keep my money for an event that's not happening. So that was my first experience with Decade Dayz. But in any event, Andrew buys, he sends me the TikTok, and he says, this is your Christmas present. I have to spoil it for you because I need you to help me in case, like, we both basically, we both need to be on the computer at the same time to make sure that we get tickets. I say, okay, no problem. So we do that. We get weekend passes to this event called A Weekend in the Life. I'm so excited. The TikTok looks amazing. And at that point in It's December. It's before Christmas, but it is still in the month of December. Absolutely nothing has been announced. Nothing. Normal. That's fine. I'm expecting that. Conventions announce the, event. Then eventually they have like, so-and-so is coming. So I think nothing of it. That's fine. Because I've been to conventions before. I know they don't typically announce stuff until closer to the event when they're confirming people. So I have no problem with the fact that there's really been nothing announced, because I do recognize that that is normal for conventions. Now, so they announced that Kiko Agenia, who plays Rory's best friend Lane Kim, she is the first guest announced. Again, I'm thrilled. I'm so excited. I can't wait. I like her a lot. She's announced as the first guest. Like, not guest, but, she's going to be there. You can meet and greet her. I get so excited. I say, oh my gosh, if this is the level of people that they're getting, this is going to be a fabulous, fabulous event. 2 weeks later, schedule, she can't come. Okay, I say, no big deal. I understand celebrities, things happen. I move on. They start announcing more celebrities. They announce Scott Patterson, who plays Luke, Yannick Truesdale, who plays Michelle Girard. They announce Zach from Hep Alien. They announce Brian from Hep Alien. They're announcing, like, not all people that I would want to meet, but they're announcing some pretty decent celebrities. So their biggest one, they announced Chad Michael Murray, who plays, oh my God. Why did I put Rory? I hate Rory. I wanted to put my king and queen. Oh, okay. You know what? This is fine. This is real life. So, ooh, okay. That's fine. I don't want to use Rory. I can't stand that girl. So they announced Chad Michael Murray and then Matt Cousin. I can't pronounce his name, but he plays Logan, and he's, a pretty famous actor. So I'm thinking, oh, this event sounds great. They're getting some big celebrities for this. I'm like, oh, this is going to be awesome. So, they announce like the tiers, what comes with each tier. I'm so excited. It sounds great. Okay. Well, the time comes. So Friday night, we get there. Now, there's very little communication at really any point during this, like, from the company, from Decade Dayz. Very little communication. So we get weekend passes, assuming we were going to be there Saturday and Sunday. We just could not make Friday work. That's fine. I knew that might mean we would miss whatever events were on Friday. Fine. So we get into our hotel. Saturday comes, and they're making, such a big deal about how you need to have bus passes from what's called the CSA, or the Connecticut Sports Arena, to downtown New Milford, which is maybe 10 minutes drive, but you really cannot walk. It's an old New England town, so it's just, you really could not have walked, unfortunately. So we buy bus passes. Andrew and I each get one for the weekend. Comes out to $20 a person, so $40 for these bus passes. So let me just tell you that not a single person, not a single one, checked our bus pass. No one. No one checked our bus passes. So that was very annoying to me. You tell people that they have to spend this money, you have to have this, you have to have that, and then you don't even check it. Okay, fine. I can live with that, so I'm like, no big deal. But that's kind of where, you know, it started. Okay, now we're on to the day by day. Let me move this hunk out of here. Oh, this is looking... Oh, I gotta take a base pic. Okay, hold on. Okay, I took the base picture. So, there's very, very little communication. So, with the weekend pass, what it says in the Facebook group, which not even all the attendees know exists. Okay, so that's problem one. It says that for weekend passes, now we just got general admission weekend passes. We did not get anything fancier than that, which there were. There were tiers above just general admission for the weekend. We did not get that, again, just general admission. But it still says that general admission comes with all events at the CSA, which is the Connecticut Sports Arena, which... literally, as we're driving there Friday, nothing has been announced. Nothing. So, we just go into it. You know, Andrew and I are talking as we're driving, like, oh, this is going to be a mess. And he said, well, at least we're together. We'll have a good time, really, no matter what. Which was true. We did have a good time, no matter what. And my husband is 100% a trooper, and he is amazing, and he takes me on all these fun things and supports my obsession with things that are now 25 years old, and he's the best. So Friday night there, for the weekend passes, you're supposed to get a special lanyard. You are supposed to get access to all the events at the CSA. There is supposed to be some type of party on Friday night, which I knew we would be missing. And I was fine with that because just with the way the schedule worked out, we were not going to make it there to actually do anything Friday night. Andrew did end up taking the day off of work, but by the time we left, which we left pretty early, there was so much traffic that we did not anticipate that we missed it. And that's fine. I knew going into it that we probably would not have made it there. Okay, fine. So there's supposed to be this like pajama karaoke party on Friday night. Y'all, let me tell you, the pictures of this party were awful. There was apparently, it was just in the Connecticut Sports Arena. So nothing fancy, which is fine. There was no food, no drinks, and the event was advertised as having both food and drinks. So strike one. It's also advertised, again, with these special lanyards. So fast sneak peek, we did not get any special lanyards on Saturday because they ran out. Okay? I don't know how you run out of special lanyards when you have a number of tickets that you sold for each tier. Now, from what I was talking to people, because I made friends at the event, of course, from what I understand, certain tiers of the weekend did in fact receive these special lanyards. There was the Dragonfly admission and the Firelight admission. Now, I have to be honest, I don't know 100% what those came with. I just know that that was a higher tiered ticket. Again, that's fine. I knew we had general admission tickets, but this is what Decade Dayz is telling me comes with the general admission ticket. So we did not get anything special when we got there. They were also advertising that there was going to be trivia and pop-up events in the town of New Milford throughout the day on both Saturday and Sunday. Now, when they said pop-up events, they specifically listed trivia, like a troubadour contest. If you know, Gilmore Girls has the town troubadour. They specifically mentioned that those things would be available throughout the weekend. Now, to my knowledge, there was trivia at the library only. The library is part of the town of New Milford. This is not something that Decade Dayz contributed to. It was just the library staff being amazing and wanting people to visit the library, so they hosted a Gilmore Girls trivia. Unfortunately, the one event I wanted to go to, because I love trivia and I love Gilmore Girls, so I wanted to see, in a event full of fans, how do I stack up trivia wise, So the trivia interfered with the autographs, so unfortunately I was not able to go to the trivia. Fine, but I do know what happened. But that was not something that Decade Dayz sponsored. And the reason I say that is because the library made it very clear that that was something that they were hosting. It was not part of the event. You technically did not need to have a ticket to attend the event. So people who live in New Milford were at the library, could have attended they could have attended the trivia, and they probably did. Again, I wasn't there, but this is what I am hearing from other people in the Facebook group. So that's kind of strike one. Strike two is the fact that they were adamant that you had to buy these bus passes. Not a single person checked our bus passes. So I really feel like I got swindled out of $40 for nothing. And I understand we could not have walked, and there was parking available in the town, but it was limited. I understand it's a small town. I'm not holding the parking situation against them, because the event did have parking figured out where you park at the CSA and they set up a bus to take you from the CSA to the town center. Fine, fabulous. Again, we knew that ahead of time. And that was something that we had prepared for. Okay? But nobody checked our tickets. So that really annoyed me, because I know that there were people who didn't pay for a bus pass on the bus. So why did they need my $40 when they didn't need those people's $40? So that annoyed me. So we get to registration, and I will talk about it more when we are going through each day, but it was so disorganized. There was a banquet dinner. So if you've watched Gilmore Girls, I'm sure you've heard of the Bracebridge dinner, which is in season, I think 2, where Suki and Lorelai at Independence Inn put on this great dinner for the Bracebridge crew, but they cancel. So everybody in Stars Hollow gets to attend this really fun dinner. So the event organizers were trying to replicate the Bracebridge dinner with the celebrities who were there. So it was Scott Patterson, Yannick Truesdale, the guy who plays Zach and Brian from Hep Alien. I don't remember their names because I didn't meet them. Ariel Kebble, who plays Lexi on The Vampire Diaries and is also Lindsay Dean's wife in Gilmore Girls. They were there. I think that was it. I want to say that was everybody, but don't quote me because I don't 100% remember, because I didn't go to the event. But this dinner was $200 per person. And I understand when you go to a convention, stuff is extra. I get that. 100% understand that. So if I had wanted, which I did want to go to the dinner, but first of all, $200 to eat pasta and some chicken? No, absolutely not. And I'm really thankful that I didn't go, because from my understanding, and this is from people sharing their experiences in the Facebook group, I took a lot of notes and I talked to people about it. That dinner, because of how unorganized the event was so delayed, not Everybody got to eat. The celebrities did not mingle with the crowd like they were claimed to have, and people wanted refunds for this dinner. If I went to the dinner, honest to God, I do not blame them, because I probably also would have wanted a refund. This is adorable. If it's just this part of the week, it doesn't look that busy, and I think we'll do deco at the top. But so $200 for some pasta and chicken and to sit with celebrities, and it's in the listing for this event. It is specifically being advertised, as you get to sit and mingle with these celebrities. It's not just like, oh, you know, a 5-minute thing. No, it's advertised as they sit at your table, or you get, you know, whatever celebrity sits, or they mingle, or whatever the case is. But it is specifically being advertised that they will be mingling with the attendees. Okay? That is what it is advertised as. Now, they did not deliver on that. They didn't. Because the meet and greets went so late on Saturday that it would have been impossible for the celebrities to actually make it to this event in a timely fashion. So that's a problem. There were volunteers at the event, and, you know, God bless people who volunteer for these events, because it cannot be easy. But the volunteers had no information. Either no information or the wrong information. So they're spreading information to the attendees that is not true. I was told by a volunteer that I would have to leave the meet and greet line and come back tomorrow for a chance to maybe meet Scott Patterson. And I said, no, ma'am, that's not how this is going to work. I've been waiting here. It was a mess. And again, was it the volunteers? Was it the organization? That I don't know, because I have to assume it was probably the organization, but also some of these volunteers were acting like, trigger warning, the Gestapo, and not in a good way. So that was very annoying to me, but we're almost at the actual event. So I'm going to get into the day by day, because there was a lot of positives that I have to say, but truly beware of attending Decade Dayz events. I'm going to say it. There were some issues that I will get to, but I really think, you know, do your research, know what company you're supporting. From my subsequent research there, if you are interested in a Gilmore Girls convention, there is a Gilmore Girls convention called Fan Fest that's been being run for 10 plus years, and it is a weekend. They get, you know, big celebrities like Lauren Graham, Kelly Bishop. So they're getting people for this. So just do your research. Know what you're, like I said, know what you're supporting. So Friday, we're here, y'all. we're here. Oh, I don't even know how long this video is going to be. I've just been yapping. And honestly, I don't care how long this video is going to be. People who know me and know my content, I'm sure you're all just like, oh, here's Crazy Kasey. And you know what? I'm fine with that. So Friday, I was able to sleep in. And I know I haven't talked about the spread at all, but I will at the end go through where everything is from. So I slept in. Andrew had a haircut before we left, which was fine. Again, we were not planning to leave until about noon. So Andrew got his haircut before they opened. Oliver and I had some snuggles. When we got home, or when Andrew got home, we packed the car. And then I did have to get an oil change before we left, but we were like making great time. So, excuse me. Oil. Hold on one second. Okay, sorry. I needed a drink. My throat got very dry. So oil change was fine. We had a road trip in Connecticut. That was an experience we both thought we were going to be taking. back roads for 3 hours to Connecticut, but it was just trying to avert us to the highway, which was jam-packed. We ended up staying at a perfect hotel by happen chance. The hotel we were staying at was 10 minutes from the Connecticut Sports Arena. We had no idea, but ended up being the absolute perfect place. Andrew forgot all of his shoes. He only had Croc slides for driving. So we had to go to the mall and buy him shoes. Now, my husband is indecisive. He will go to every single store, look at every single option before he's even ready to commit to something. It's a miracle that we are married, but truly. Okay, so we spent probably 3 hours looking for a pair of sneakers just for him to end up buying the one that he saw at the beginning. Okay. Men, I really can't with men. So then we walked around the mall. It was a really nice mall in Danbury, Connecticut. We got some Asian snacks. There was this really cool store that had a lot of imported snacks. So we found some cool candy, chips, and we just bought a bunch of stuff because there really wasn't a lot of food near the hotel, which is surprising to me because it's a hotel in kind of a touristy area. At the mall, we went to Barnes & Noble. We went to this cool, not video game store, but like they had a lot of like action figures and things like that. So that was really cool. We tried to go to the Cheesecake Factory, and no joke, we sat there for 20 minutes and nobody even came over to us to take our drink order, acknowledge we were there, nothing. So we ended up leaving, driving to like 20 minutes back to the hotel because we found a Texas Roadhouse that was open. So we ate there. I was so thankful to eat. I was hangry. Hangry at that point. We went back to the hotel, watched some Vice Principals, and I could not sleep. Andrew didn't bring his shoes. He didn't bring his CPAP machine, and he was snoring the whole night, and I could not sleep. It was really awful. So, excuse me. That is Friday. That looks super cute. Okay. Logan, you got to cover that up. All right. On to the epic day of Saturday. Y'all, I have 20 things to mark. So the day started as any day in New England starts. We went to Dunkin'. We tried to go to the continental breakfast at the hotel, and we were there at 7 and there was no food. There was no food. It said that the continental breakfast opened at 6, and by 7 there was no food. And the reason I bring this up is that in the reviews, it was very explicitly mentioned that this hotel had a great continental breakfast. They could have fooled me. So then we drove to the CSA. We were told that registration was actually at Town Hall. So we got on the bus that nobody checked our bus pass for, and we registered at Town Hall. We picked up our badges, which were nothing special. And the registration was a hot, H-O-T, capital H-O-T mess. People were everywhere. People were trying to buy tickets for the event who hadn't purchased tickets prior. Now, I don't care about that. I think if you're there, you want to buy a ticket, you know, if they're available, go for it. The event was very sold out. I don't work for the event, but I can tell you for 100% certainty this was an oversold event, hands down. There's no way this was not an oversold event. So at the registration, there was these little passports. I have mine downstairs. I don't have it with me. But these passports, it was $5 cash, and you got a stamp for every town store that was like playing a Gilmore Girls store you went to. It was just for fun. The money went to charity. It went to the... Well, actually, I don't think they announced what charity it went to, so that's a problem. But I believe there was a discussion that it was going to the Pet Adoption Center and the Historical Society in the town. I was fine with that. Truly, if I had not gotten this $5 passport, we would have been in and out of the town in 20 minutes because there just isn't... It's a small town. It's a small New England town. There's not that much to do, but having the passport, having the little, oh, I'm checking this off, gave us something to do. So the passports were a great idea, but they 100% need to be more transparent about where the money went. So I'm using these little passport stickers from Kaseyplans to mark all of our passport stamps. So we started at the Village Center for the Arts, and they were making dragonfly bookmarks. I did make one. It's so cute. I'm not using it as a bookmark. I'm going to use it I'm making a shadow box of my autographs and the passport, so I'm going to use it there. Our next passport stop was the Stars Hollow Library, which was, I know it's not really the Stars Hollow Library, but I'm just calling it that. They were so well done. So well done. They really tried to make it as Stars Hollow-like as possible. I really enjoyed the library, and I am so sad that we did not get to go there for trivia. After the library, we hoofed it to the inn, which was not prepared for anybody to be visiting, and it was disguised as the Dragonfly Inn for the weekend, which was fun. It's a very small bed and breakfast. I want to say maybe there's a couple handful of rooms, but anyways, we had fun. Next door to the Dragonfly Inn was the Historical Museum, which was wonderful. $5 admission, which I happily paid. It was truly, truly, truly fantastic. We learned about New Milford. We explored so much. We were in the Historical Museum for probably at least a half hour, which for us and the town was a lot of time, truly. It was great. Can't say enough about it. I'm on their email list now, so I get all their emails because it was great. Then we headed down to the market, which was disguised as Dorsey's Market. This is, it's like a bulk market where they just have bins of like seeds and flowers, and it was really cool. I enjoyed it. We bought a bunch of stuff. Andrew got some loose leaf tea. We got a little tea set. That was, Dorsey's Market, they were a star for us. So that's the first part. Second part, we're opening up here. Okay. Our next passport stop, which was the bookstore. I was very disappointed in the bookstore. They did not, it was a bookstore cafe, and they were just not prepared for the amount of people. And I understand, because I think, again, I don't think the town was prepared for the Gilmore Girlies to show up, but that's okay. It wasn't, they were fine. I just think they were not prepared. Then we went to a couple just gift shops. There was some really, really cool handmade Gilmore Girls stuff. I got some car coasters, a couple candles, a magnet, and a little ring dish for my rings to put near the sink. That was a lot of fun, just shopping here, there, and everywhere. Our next passport stop, and some of the, like, the places were, you know, passport stops, was Mrs. Kim's Antiques, which was truly just, I don't know if you would call it a junk store, but it was just Mrs. Kim's Antiques. We had pizza at this all aboard pizza place, which had displayed the Lorelei's 10-foot pizza from that episode where she tries to make Rory tries to make her the world's biggest pizza for her birthday. That was so well done. They were playing Gilmore Girls in the background. Just truly a fabulous pizza place. We can't wait to go back. So that was called All Aboard Pizza. At that point, we had to head back to the CSA because the autograph session was starting. So I just used these headphones because we were waiting in line, and then I'm going to put this down and then we'll talk about it. So I'm using these little balloons, and we're going to talk about the scam squad, because at this point I truly felt like we had gotten scammed. There was nothing for the ticket. You know, the town, yes, but you could have just gone to the town, right? The town was not closed for the event. Not that I expected the town to be closed to the event. This is a town, people live there. I don't expect that at all. But there was nothing. There was one panel that you almost had to miss because you were in line for the autographs, meet and greets, etc. So that was kind of useless, if I'm being honest with you. Like, you couldn't even participate in that event. So that was a problem, the whole bus thing. So when we got back to the CSA, it was supposed to start at 3 p.m. We assumed that there would be a line because that's what my little ticket that they gave me said. Scott Patterson, autograph selfie, 3 p.m. When we got there, all the high-tiered tickets were in line waiting for their photos. So I said, there's no way that they're going to get to us. I'm like, there's just no way. Absolutely no way. So that was, annoying and kind of upsetting, because I understand I didn't pay for, a high tier ticket, but I still bought a ticket to the event. It's not like, I really felt like a second class citizen at that point, which was upsetting because the tickets that we did have were, they were expensive. So this is where the volunteer, after we had waited in line for 2 hours for the general admission line to even start. So we were waiting to wait in line. Okay. So we had found some chairs. It's a sports arena. So they just had like folding chairs set up. Andrew and I are sitting down. This mother and her daughter come up to us and they say, "What is this?" Because we were just waiting to wait in line. And I explained to them, "Oh, we're waiting to wait in line." They said, "Do you mind if we wait too?" I said, "No, of course, grab a seat." We get chatting. A woman and her sister come up. They ask the same thing. "Hey, what is this?" We explain we're waiting to wait in line. Fine. Then we all start talking about how we feel like we were getting scammed. And it's true. The only priority was given to the top tier ticket holders, but there really wasn't good communication about, if you don't have these top tier tickets, like, you are not given priority, right? It never said priority for this, priority for that. It mentioned priority seating for the panels, but there was one panel and it was useless. So it just, all in all, all in all, it was just not good. I was interviewed for NPR though, so that was very exciting. This is when, let me just put this down. This is also when, at this point, the volunteer told me that we were going to have to come back the next day. I said, "I can't come back the next day. That's not possible for me." I said, "I paid for a meet and greet today, not tomorrow. And I paid for that because I wanted to go today." So we were given, some special permission to give them to the front of the line because we were complaining really loudly. So I ended up meeting Yannick Truesdale, who was lovely. Scott Patterson, who is such a gem of a human. He called me darling in a Southern accent, and I was so smitten with him. And we also met Ariel Kebble, I hope I'm pronouncing her name right, who, like I said, Lindsay, Dean's wife, and then also is Lexi from the Vampire Diaries. We're going to close this up. We ended up, because I got to meet Scott Patterson and we didn't have to come back, I really didn't want to stay overnight because it was like 5:30, 6 o'clock. We ended up driving home. I was like, I just want to go home. I don't want to spend another night at the hotel. At that point, we had already paid for the hotel. So it was like we had already spent the money. Neither one of us wanted to stay at the hotel again. So we kind of just left. We checked out. We drove home. Sorry, I got to get the washi. Okay. And then we went to Frank Pepe's on the way home. And that is Saturday. What a great day. Sunday is not as bad, y'all, I promise. So Sunday, woke up, snuggled with Oliver. He was very snuggly on Sunday. Love that. Andrew went to pick up donuts and croissants for breakfast. So I'm just using donuts. I got some planning time in. I was just so tired. Like, it's just, it takes a lot out of you sometimes. Like, just doing things that you don't typically do on a daily basis. I watched Dance Moms. Oh, I didn't even mention that the meet and greets and the photos and the selfies were so unorganized that on Friday night, that was the one night Chad Michael Murray was scheduled to be there. His selfie session started 3 hours late. He left during the middle of it, just left to get dinner somewhere in town. And not everybody even apparently got to meet him because of how disorganized this whole situation was. So they're doing the event again in the fall. Ooh, I don't know. We're not going, but well, I told Andrew, I said, if they announce that Kelly Bishop is going to be there, I have to go because I love her so much. But okay, let me pop this in my planner. I'll be right. All right, y'all. So that is it. Thank you so much for coming along on this journey of my epic Gilmore Girls spread. I really hoped you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you are not. Oh my God, I forgot to tell you where everything is from. Back in we go. So this is from the Doodle add-on, foil bundle, McPlans, Carly Plans. I do PR for Carly Plans. You can use code Kasey15 to save 15% or mention me in the notes if she is already having a sale. Carly Plans, foil bundle, a shop that's not open. Sugar Pop Fizz. I do PR for Sugar Pop Fizz. You can use code Kasey to save 15% in her shop or mention me in the notes if she is having a sale. This is from Linder Designs, foil bundle. Doodle, Carly, foil bundle, Doodle add-on, Carly Plans, foil bundle, Carly, Sugar Pop Fizz, Doodle, foil bundle, Doodle, Carly Plans, Doodle, foil bundle. Both of those are from Carly, as is the paw print. The Cuddles is from the foil bundle. This is from Corks and Corks Co., my friend Laurel shop on Etsy. Carly Plans for the script, McPlans, and the foil bundle. This is from Doodle, foil bundle, Carly, foil, Doodle, Carly Plans, down at the bottom. Carly, this is from Sugar Pop Fizz. The scripts are from the foil bundle. Doodle, Carly Plans, and then foil bundle for the scripts. All the scripts for this weekend are from Carly Plans. I'm not going to take this out right now because I'm going to take some pictures, but all these scripts are from Carly Plans. Most of the icons are from Carly Plans. If not, they're from the Doodle. This is from Sweet Tea Plans. I do PR for Sweet Tea Plans. You can use code Kasey24 to save 25% in her shop or mention me in the notes if she is having a sale. These just do not want to stay down, y'all. I also used my day extenders from Sugar Pop Fizz. I love those. So yeah, okay. That was a detour. But thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did and subscribe if you are not already. If you're already subscribed, thank you so much and I'll see you on my next video. Bye!